the housekeeping done, let's get started. So, welcome one and all. This is going to be a wonderful night. It's another spectacular edition of the Crafty Crows. I'm calling it the ABC edition. It's a Beat Poet collective. It's going to be audacious, brilliant, and creative. And I want you to get into it, get into the spirit of it, and enjoy the event. We start, first of all, I think we start with me, don't we, Jason? I get to go first. So I've got no idea what the vibe is, so I'm going to set the tone with something that seems to be current for me at the moment. So I'm a business poet as well as a performance poet. And working in business as I do, I often get invites to summits. I don't know if you know what these things are, but summits in business are gatherings of the great and the wise, self-proclaimed experts. Well, I keep getting invites to summits, but I find the air is too rarefied up there. Invite me to the valley where there's learning, in the lush undergrowth of undiscovered opportunity, the roundness of not yet ripe ideas, the dankness of stale dreams, the neediness of reality. Nothing grows at the peak, a stone dropped for each traveller, a cairn, a rocky outcrop, a lost or barren sheep. And I want to roll in the earthy moodiness, lose myself in the dark, and find my way through slow touch, feeling the rough wilderness, not wonder at the wisdom of the few who make it high enough to preach perfection at the summit. I want to make mistakes and earn my learning from the getting up and never letting go, of the mundane, inane, insane madness of the mornings, seen from never sleeping, but keeping all my promises to live a life of honestness, an honest mess of real emotions, not emotionless nonsense, and in one sense be true to who I am. Integrity lives in the valley. Nothing grows at the peak, a stone for each traveller, a rocky outcrop, a lost or barren sheep. Invite me into the valley where I can admire the view, see the summit from our low perspective. And if I want to find the horizon, I can always climb the nearest tree. Nature's canopy and loftiness is high enough for me. Invite me into the valleys where human suffering is met with understanding, where human pain is soothed, smoothed, removed, and is never ignored. There you go. And if you're interested in the book that inspired that, it is actually a business book. It's not my own. I'm not on commission. It's called Peaks and Valleys. So if you're finding stress in the workplace, that's the way to ease it. Thank you for letting me go first. That's a real privilege because I am now ready to introduce our first open micer of the night, and that is Leslie Constable, swiftly followed by Martin Del Toro. So you both need to get ready. Are you ready, Leslie?
I am.
All right, the mic's yours.
Okay, I'm just gonna let it fly. This one's called Sunspots, and this was one I wrote at an open mic a long time ago, and so it's called Sunspots. The force of the sun loosens its grip only when you are sleeping and dreaming your personal dreams of the just, your dreams, not mine, of beauty, harmony, and that which you think you are. Are you that, or are you other? Are you mindful? What secrets in the explosions, the flare-ups, what secrets we hide, the far-reaching arms of the sun and its glorious outrage, the tentacles of self-referential power that lay claim to us all, that will to power like the sun, that wonderful cocksure almighty will that eats itself and all that is around it. Who are we to say we know? Who are we to say that we are wise? Who are we to say at all anything except that I serve? Not the I am, not the I am that I am, but that I serve. Simply that. And if you serve, if you say you serve, who is it that you serve? Me? I don't think so. And I don't ask for this. Never would I ask for this. I serve myself and need no help. Surely, if nothing else, you see this, and if not me, then who? You serve yourself less surely than you serve me. Pray for it, my friend, that we attain balance, that we meet at best and by default only in the middle. The sun, our redeemer, that rascal adventurer like us, remains firmly, surely in the center. And this is just, isn't it? This is just. There is wisdom in the darkness that cloaks us in disguise. Under cover of darkness, we emerge at times at that which is most rare. Ah, yes, the phantom moonflower, twining up and up to attach ourselves to the firmament, up into the ineffable. It is the night journey we undertake together, and in our night journey we bloom, and we bloom in beauty, lovely to behold. In our darkness, it is the wisdom of the shadow world that shields us, forgiving us our follies of the day. Babies of the shadow world, we sleep like the little lambs of the flock, always innocent, always new and unsullied, untroubled by our daylight selves, our white, thick fleece shielding us from self-knowledge. We remain always unrepentant, never saying I'm sorry, never forgiving the other or ourselves, always asleep and dreaming our dreams. At night, nourished by the sun, comforted by the moon, always we grow longer, wider, more vast in knowing, nourished in body and mind and spirit, our souls longing for more, for growth, for the union of soul on soul, soul with soul. Can we have it this time around? We are the balance of light and dark. We are the daughters of the sun, the sons of the moon. We are both and neither. We are only that which and those who forgive ourselves and each other. We are only this, for our time is sometimes short. I imagine a world where the sun forgives us our nighttime follies, our flirtations with the moon. I imagine a world where the moon forgives us our daytime dramas, the insufferable pride, our monstrous whims. I imagine the balance of the light and the dark, and it is mine. So that's, I don't know if I have time to read a short one. Yes or no?
I think you have time for a short one. Yes, we
This is
love
very
your
short.
stuff, so off you go.
This one's called Waking. In the moment between sleep and waking, half light, the moon not sunk yet and settled below the line of seeing, you are in between the gentle hum of existence, not constant. It pulsates like you in love or a cat with its tail flicking rhythmically to some inner beat. And you cherish this moment, laying so still and paying attention, not yet alight to the light, the fire of your being, for just but just nothing there now, still, yet everything is there. Okay, that's all for me.
Gorgeous stuff. Everybody unmute and show your appreciation for Leslie. We love your voice and your poetry, Leslie.
Ah, yes.
Woo. Now then, keep that mic open because I think the next up is Martin Del Toro. The mic is yours.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Mi poema se llama Detrás del micrófono estoy yo. Noche de micrófono abierto. Hay música, hay poesía, y es como cuando estás a punto, a un segundo de compartir el más placentero momento de tu arte, esperando que agrade al público. Es como un calambre en la boca del estómago, que el músico, el poeta o el payaso estén haciendo su mejor trabajo en el escenario, detrás del micrófono. Entonces, ¿saben qué? Hola, hola. Ok. ¿Puedo seguir? Y la gente del público en este bar sigue hablando y interrumpiendo. Saben que todos aquí somos profesionales y buenos. Somos buenos. No importa que esto sea micrófono abierto. No somos buenos para todos, pero sí para a quien aprecia el arte, para compartir en público. Y eso es lo que hacemos. Y, ok, amigos míos, en este momento dejo de hablar y de actuar y compartir para todos ustedes, con respeto a todos y a mí mismo. De poeta y locos, todos tenemos un poco. ¿O no? Pero ¿qué tiene de mal tener algo de respeto, mostrar educación? No se ofendan porque les pido silencio. Allá arriba también. Por favor, gracias. Es mejor escuchar un bravo, bravo y un aplauso y tener su atención como respeto. Que sus bu, 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 público, somos artistas, no sus payasos. Somos bohemios, cantantes, percusionistas, poetas y más. Merecemos de su respeto y su amor. Así que con amor, calla para que pueda continuar. Porque detrás del micrófono estoy yo.
Okay, my turn in English. This is a fun one. It's called Behind the Microphone is Me. Open mic night, there's music, there's poetry, and it's like when you're a second away from sharing the most pleasurable moment of your art, hoping that it will please the audience. It's like a cramp in the pit of your stomach, that the musician, the mime, the poet, or the clown are doing their best work on the stage behind their microphone. Then you know what happens. Hello, okay, can I go on? And the people in the audience in this bar keep talking and interrupting, and they know that we are all professionals here and we are good. It doesn't matter. Let this be open mic. We're not good for everybody, but we are good for those who appreciate art to share in public, and that is what we do. And okay, my friends, at this moment, I stop talking and performing and sharing. For all of you, with respect to all and to myself as a poet and a crazy person, we all have a little bit of that, don't we? But what's wrong with having some respect to show politeness? Don't be offended because I asked for silence up here too, please. Thank you. It's better to hear a bravo, an applause, to have your attention as respect rather than your boo, boo, boo. Audience, we are artists, not your clowns. We are bohemians, singers, percussionists, poets, and more than that, we deserve your respect and love. So with love, be quiet so I can continue, because behind the microphone, it's me. So that's it.
Oh, that's tremendous. Thank you so much, Leslie and Martin. Show your appreciation. Woo! Brilliant. And next we have Lucia Daramus. Are you with us, Lucia?
Thank you. I'm here.
There we go.
will share screen. Yes, this is.
Another Voice by Lucia Ramos. The sky is above our minds, with closed veil of dark clouds. Far of the window of Exeter Cedar Hospital, a green dead field with some alive trees, and a house with a white bird on the top. I'm asking myself, what is inside the house? What kind of man and a possible woman? On the windows, pleasant instantaneous light, bright light, a light in green colors. Is there from their souls? I'm hearing a voice. It is a pleasant voice having a shadow, blue, blue harmonica blue. My voice is settled in that house, with blue nuances in my mind's voice. The house near Cedar Hospital, in Exeter. And yes, there is a woman. I can hear a woman with long hair and brown yellow pattern like a rapeseed field, reading Perfume by Suskind. Yes, yes, a murder. And the sense of smell and its relationship with the emotional meaning of a taste of coffee and French croissants. Perfume, the perfume of the century, of the city, of the streets, and the woman. My voice asked me, what kind of smell will have your dead body? Your dead body. I whispered, my body, my dead body will smell of words with thousands of aromas and tastes. Is a pleasant, pleasant voice with silent feeling in the voice's mind. The sky is so, so high, and my body so, so heavy. I want to fly up, up, but I am just a spot mind in the universe. Mountains, mountains on the flapping planets, blooming in my heart, led by my voices. One voice said to me, be silent and listen to the universe from your heart. White clouds, huge clouds, enormous clouds, highlighted my vision close to my mind, and high, deep, solemn stage of our life in Cedar Hospital in Exeter. But fight, the fight. The voice number 2 smashed a window in the Halls Hospital, and with a shard of glass the voice cut the sky. And blood, blood. The sky is my trajectory of my aorta. I painted like Van Gogh my death with my words. I painted with words, and the bloody sky is colored in my aorta, cutting in 2 pieces, one piece for the south of the universe and another one for the north. Blood. My blood is raining over Cedar Hospital in Exeter, and my crowded voices are singing my requiem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia. Thank you. Please come off the mic and show your appreciation for Lucia. Beautiful music and poetry words together.
Yes.
And next we have Charlotte Falconbridge. Charlotte, are you able to share some words with us tonight?
I am, but I'm going to keep the camera off just because I'm currently sat in the dark due to a power cut. So
Okay.
you can't see me anyway, but I'm using 4G on the iPad, so hopefully it lasts for the evening. But if the lights come on later on, then you might see my face, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, over to you.
I think to call this a poem would be an insult to all the poets here, because it's more of a rant that rhymes, really, as I'm having a sort of early quarter-life crisis. But if you do want to hear me do some proper poetry, then I am headlining U Beehive on the 17th of this month, so yeah, you should probably listen to that instead of this. They didn't teach us about homosexuality for fear it would turn us gay. Yet they taught us about World War II, not worrying if we would invade. They didn't teach us about disabilities for fear we might catch one. Yet the only disease infecting us was idiocy and ignorance. They didn't teach us about contraception for fear we might want to use it. No wonder Millie's got a kid in reception when we were brought up on immaculate conceptions. Next week, I turned 24, and I still don't know what to do with a P60 form, because we weren't taught about money in our classrooms, only how it was burned in nuclear mushrooms. No wonder we can't save when we're still paying for their repercussions. We're left scrambling, picking up pennies for luck, whilst they encourage humanity's selfish conduct. We were so full of hope, full of life. Now we're full of scotch and full of lies. We were born listening to what they said, telling us to abandon the dreams in our heads. Find a way to conform until you grow old. Stick to that path, don't ever break the mould. I before E, except after C. How about F before U for leaving us with the debris? The fucking recorder is not the bricks and mortar to fixing the world's disorder. Teach us taxes in our classes. Show us how green the grass is, stopping life's failures to encourage the passes. How to be kind to foreigners. How to safely use Internet Explorer. How to stop the torture at the borders. In a world run by the notorious, we have to be the warriors. Because when the truth matters and the world is in tatters, all our friends who are dying and our lovers who are lying, when the politicians are betraying whilst the church folk are praying, do all these things just cancel each other out? What the fuck's that all about? So yeah, that's my rant over for the day.
Long live the ranting is all I can say. That was brilliant, Charlotte. Thank you. Show your appreciation for Charlotte. And if you can get to Beehive, I don't know if we're allowed to advertise, but definitely go and catch her there. So
sorry, I didn't know if we could advertise or not.
You can. I don't know whether I can. I was just saying that to Jason. I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Yeah,
He's absolutely, yeah, share away. Wonderful stuff. I don't know if Generalissimo is here. I think not at the moment. So we're going to go to our next open micer. So that's Mimi German. Are you there? Is Mimi with us? Yes. You can come off mic, Mimi. That'd be great. Off mute.
There we go. Sorry, I was trying to find my mute. So thank you. It's lovely to be in this room with everybody. I'm going to read a couple poems. One from my latest book, which is called Where Grasses Bend. Well, a couple from here. I've been down due to the war in Israel and against Hamas. And so these poems are sort of a reflection. This one's called Rosh Hashanah 5783, which was the Jewish year last year. Beneath the cracked bricks of bridges, misery shelters from the sun. Stars stumble. Truth is thinner than hunger, hungrier than bread. Meaning is meaningless in the yarn. Derelict vision hangs from the line. The clerk of soul inventory is crashed out on the floor. Honor is ash in a war-torn street. Is this how the world ends? For whom have I been good? A dispassionate rain falls. This one, also from the same book, is called In These Wintered Woods. Threaded to this ground like tired blades of grass wet with winter, I am anchored, weathering. I am bark, then kindling. I am soil warmed beneath this unkempt circle where the pregnant doe sleeps. Here in the solitude of these old oaks, I lie still, listening. And this one, the last from this book, is called The Slow Curve of Sun. In the dark tea of spring, brush and peat, time knocks, seeping. I cannot strain decay like darning a cloak or untangling braids of moss. The push broom scrapes leaf from stalk. Nothing grows wild in the bitters. And it's so interesting reading poems, even though I wrote them, I read them now in context with this current war, and they have a whole other meaning. This poem is called He. It's from my first book, Beneath the Gravel Weight of Stars. He. The fray floats the ground like an unhoused child. A pregnant robin parrots the sun, braying like a mule. Wheelbarrows and bicycles jump the fence. Appearing through the nocturne, he wears a coat of falling feathers. Walks the chapped sky. Clover tongues the fescue of the blue-eyed steep beneath his feet. He curves toward the last left, past the open skirt of blossoms where the crick of crickets hide, past the cring of spettles on the long parade, then to the river of sunken oars. He drags the boat with the paper doll rudder to the shards of the twilight banks. Somewhere, a broken violin slurs. He has no wonder of peacocks or prattle. A snail scuds gelatinous birth on the crumpled trail. Wet lilacs glisten as if someone could remember when. Beneath the burdened hemlock, he aligns the edge of shore to hull, then crosses over the bow, foot first. And if I may, I'm working on a series of war poems. And if it's okay with you, they're very short. I wouldn't mind reading 2 of them. War number 1. They're all labeled to the day that the war began to now. War number 1. War is poverty of the mind. This one is called War Poem number 18. If I could sit with you, I would bring you bread and tea with rumanim, falafel and warm pita, and gifts for your children. If is such an empty word. It resigns itself to failure. And the last poem, and thank you for your time and for hearing me and letting me hear you. War Poem number 9. I do not resist. I open in the exhale to exist. Thank you.
Beautiful poetry, Mimi. Thank you. Everyone, show your appreciation for a wonderful set there. That was gorgeous. Thank you.
Wonderful. Brilliant.
Beautiful stuff. We're just going to squeeze another poet in before Doc. So Doc, it's not quite your spot yet. We're going to have Lucy come in and do her set now, if that's okay. Lucy, are you ready?
Yeah, thanks so much, Kate. So I'm having a few health issues this evening, so I really appreciate you putting me a little earlier in the running order. Wow, what amazing poets we've heard so far. It's my first time here with you guys, so really enjoying it. And I want to know how to do the border on my Zoom. I tried, sorry. Consider it there in spirit. So I'm going to read you 2 poems. Can I screen share? Is that okay? If I can. Where am I? Okay. So first I'm going to read a poem called The Maths Teacher. I'm writing quite a bit about childhood guilt and how unfair it is that we as children, we start gathering these feelings of guilt very early on. And so this is about my maths teacher at school, and it was appeared very kindly in New Contexts 3 anthology last year. So this is The Maths Teacher, and I will try to remember to scroll down. The Maths Teacher. July. She's 32, stroking blustery strands, dazzled by evening sun on the Solent. A boom swings loose, connects. October. He lives for his teaching. We lurk just out of range. A few unlucky break time convicts build an allotment next to the field. Pretending to listen to his lectures about frost protection and manure. watching his fingers steeple, flex, dibbing the earth for broad beans. December. His face is cracked like limestone. Children, I've a surprise for you. A murmur of excitement ripples. From his satchel, he produces a gift of clementines and walnuts, all inspected and portioned out. A Merry Christmas, one and all. The bell rings for morning break. We toss the gifts on desks, run outside. He leans down, counts the perfect fruit and each little shell, back into darkness. January, the month of rededication, washing clean, a cold ritual, the arithmetic of breathing. Thank you. And I still have terrible nightmares about that incident, poor fella. Again, I'm going to read you one again. I don't know why I've gone with anthology poems this evening, and this one appeared in the wonderful Up the Duff anthology from Beautiful Dragons, or Dragon Yaffle actually, earlier on in the year. And this is I had breast cancer, so which affected my fertility. So this is about that that experience and the after effects. So I got two kids, and yeah, this feeds into that. Each morning after. Barefoot each morning after chemotherapy, I nuzzle your cheek, kiss your nodding head. You tell me your story in chirps and bubbles, your lost story. We play a while in lemon sun. I show you laburnums in the gathering light. We're hushed, watching them this moment. They're awake now, baby, and look, birds. Your round tummy jiggles, my tiny Buddha. Those are the first mornings. Later will come others, when it's all I can manage to tell you. Darling, I would have loved you. I thought we had time. You are what I regret the most. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the evening.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Your poetry is so moving. Thank you, everyone. Show your appreciation. It was beautiful. We have our final open micer of the first half. Doc, are you ready?
I am ready.
Super. Over to you.
Thank you. Keys. Reading my poetry in public, I practice, polish my art, weaving a fine cloth of words, of thought, emotion, and inspiration. I am rehearsing in a setting which parses the future. I am asked about how and why I write. I speak of the multiverse, of what it has given me, of words and phrases I've collected, of thoughts it sent through me, of my emotions, yearning and angst, of inspiration from others, from music, nature, and life. Keys which unlock the conduit of me, free the scribe, and the poetry writes me. And symphony. 'Neath sun-filled autumn sky, fall's glory surrounds from hill, dale, and plain. Leaves sing the joy of life, even as theirs is ending, in a season uniquely theirs. It is a symphony of color, a proclamation of Gaia and nature. Winter is coming, a passage in the eternal procession of seasons and time. Thank you.
Doc, it's been a while since I've heard your words, but ooh, I missed them. They're amazing. Thank you so much. What an amazing first half, and I'm sure you'll agree that was stunning. We're ready now for our first headliner, and I'm going to read John Burroughs' bio, and then John, it'll be over to you. So John is Burroughs of Cleveland served as the 2022-2023 US National Beat Poet Laureate and is the author of The Rest of the Worthwhile, which you can get from Far Q Press, Rattle Numb, which is from Venetian Spider Press, and numerous poetry chapbooks. You're showing them there. He previously served for 2 years as the state of Ohio's Beat Poet Laureate, and since 2008, Burroughs has been the founding editor and publisher for Crisis Chronicles Press. You may find him online at crisischronicles.com, but actually you can find him here right now. John, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Kate and Jason and Carl. This is a wonderful event. Everybody who's read, I so love your work, and I'm so looking forward to hearing everyone who's coming next. Greetings from the USA. We're not all bad over here, but there's a lot of bad going on. The first poem I'm going to read is entitled Odd Missive. Dear whomever it may concern, I have always felt upside down and downside up, like an hourglass or a cup tumbling down a mountain of valleys, like an alley full of endless avenues and dead-end streets, like a meetup nobody comes to, or a voice recorder in a landfill. I have always felt like a #1 Diana Ross song on my 14th birthday, upside down, but also sometimes her subsequent single, I'm Coming Out. I have always felt outside in and inside out, but never insight in unless I'm mistaken, or outside out unless my heart was breaking and I could no longer bear the indoors. I have always felt like a rooftop floor or a basement ceiling, like a numb feeling or the unreeling business of a word-proof letter, like an ungotten go-getter, a colander filled with holy water, like an arid pants wetter, a desert detour, an albino Moor, the kind of hello who is talking to himself again, to whomever it may concern, even when it concerns only him, or not even. How odd. Sincerely, Miss Civ. Out and in, audible. Every act of creation is an erasure, an abrasion, an anaphylactic shock and awe hack job, a pleasure wrought of leisure and an irrepressible need to blather on both with and without words. Every devastation is an act of creation, is an act of transfusion and a letting of blood, rich jewel confusion, a measure of destruction in the symphony of what is becoming, a disillusion of what is not, a voila, a spot shot full of love, a love of splatter, a shortage and abundance of what we call sanctity and insanity in and out of fertile matter. Every creation is an act of destruction and reproduction, a deconstruction of yesterday, but a recreation of tomorrow, an ablation sullied only by illusion, a transmission in search of substantiation, contracted into transubstantiation, expanding like an outstanding ovation, both with and without reason, a scene both with and without cohesion, both in and out of season, both over and under heard. Thank you all so much. This next one is a very short one. There was once a presidential candidate in the United States who used the slogan, "Change you can believe in." And this poem is entitled, I Hear Change. I hear the only thing you can ever be sure of is change. I hear change is eternal. But try telling that to a dollar bill. And that was that for that poem. Unfortunately, you know, money is feeding a lot of negative things in the world, including the war machine. And so I'm going to read this poem, which is a rather old poem of mine, but unfortunately, it still seems to apply to our world today. It's entitled Bloodshot. Indian summer sun squints, bloodshot, like the wide, wounded eyes of your cynical Seneca ancestors. On and on and anon, an endless queue of unrelenting conquistadors lusting for booty or bust, defile our trust and defame the name of God in the name of God. Opportunity often does not knock for trusting tribesmen, be we from Arizona, the Amazon, Africa, or Akron, Ohio. Riding roughshod over every allegedly endless empire, including America, the beautifully dutiful, the cursed hearse of history, leads a parade of pathetic and unsympathetic plotters, plodders, priests, and presidents, electable eels who feel their forked tongues and dung make them agents of distinction instead of extinction. Sweetly sighing lullabies of liberty and expediency, these leaders open their Bombays as they pray, first for the unconditional surrender of our enemies, and last, if at all, for the bloodshot souls of the soon-to-be charred children of Hiroshima, Hanoi, Belfast, Baghdad, Bethlehem, New York City, Kyiv, and coming soon to a theater of war near you. This next poem is what I call a cento or a cento. I've heard it pronounced more than one way. And it's comprised of phrases that I pulled out of James Baldwin's novel, Another Country. and made into their own poem. This is entitled Revolutionary Sentiments. The misty doors bumped against his mind, made him remember the reason for his paralysis. She was terribly attractive. A window or a flower inviting a wet complicity, entangled with an effort to come out of mourning. He watched her, grinning. The overhead light was deliberate and slow, their faces greedier and more vulnerable. Stretched out on the bed, their wet mouths burning. For a moment, the world wasn't so full of dead folks. Thank you. This poem is entitled Unwinding. In the meantime, this is a lean time, a mean time, as well as an in-between time, a sometimes sublime time, a the beat goes on time, and please, not another rhyme time. While Facebook sighs that wise Linda Paston has eluded time, left behind ethics and dogs as temporal threads unravel like Penelope's dire tapestry, as it has to be. This is a blind time, an often unkind time, a strip mind and behind time. So take care and be kind, for the future is mind, and there is no rewind. All right. Well, one thing I love in life, besides poetry and meeting good folks like yourselves, is dogs. I have a dog named Bart. He's black and fluffy and full of energy, even though he's 10 years old. And so I'd like to read a couple of poems that mention dogs. Dog Day. Valerie assures me a poem is never finished, while Rilke asserts that no feeling is final. Dickinson replies that seeing summer sky is poetry outside of any book. Cocteau says a poet listens, does not invent, while I detect an emerging theme. Weary of obsessing about who said what and what to say, I embrace this poem's lack of finality and walk my dog in the warm, wooded air, smile watching him run with abandon. And here is a second one entitled Dog Day 2. So I do a lot of running around, touring in the Eastern United States, especially sharing poetry in different places, hearing other people. And a lot of times I have to leave my dog at home. And he's not very happy about that. So this poem was my penance to him. Our dog Bart lies nonchalant on the deck, dreaming of a world without far-flung poetry events. except for the local outdoor ones on days that are neither too hot nor cold nor rainy for him to tag along. He's okay with Zoom readings too, especially when we attend on the sofa, so he can lie beside or on us, whereas my office chair is on laminate flooring that he would prefer to avoid, though at least that's still home and better than on the road. Bart has never understood why people like that book anyway, or any book indeed, unless it was adapted for TV or DVD, since he doesn't read, and the only Kerouac he ever recognizes is Nick Nolte's dog in Down and Out in Beverly Hills. So that goes out to my doggy Bart. Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here among you all. And I'm going to share one more poem with you. This one is entitled, so I had once long ago written a very long poem called Identity Crisis that took 15 minutes to read. And it was, full of shit, or, as you might say, shite. And so recently I wrote a much shorter sequel to it. And it's entitled Redux is not pronounced Redo, but that hasn't stopped me. I once said, I don't want to be anyone but me, man, really. But then I tend to forget I am you, and he, and she, and the world is a poem. And whether or not we write a word, we're all part of it and each other. King Solomon is said to have said, there is nothing new under the sun. And he never saw cell phones or personal computers, as far as I know. But what do I know? I never met King Solomon or even saw King Solomon's Mines. I only know it starred Richard Chamberlain. And in a sense, we are all this poem's stars. Each daughter, doctor, dog, tree, rock, king, sun, amoeba, Chamberlain, comedian comprised of star stuff, the same atomic matter and energy that have been around since long before Solomon's time. So when you slap down your brother, you're slapping down star stuff as well as yourself, because there's really no me apart from we, and we're as large as we are we, and everything's relative as well as correlative, whether or not we've seen the movie or touched the hem. And every identity crisis is a closing of eyes and also an opening. And may I never write another careless word out of hurt or hate or bravado or lack of empathy, but embrace the symphony of all that is, and live and love and learn to dance with the stars.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Okay, that was an incredible set. I love the rhymes. I want everyone to unmic and show your appreciation, your best attitude of gratitude, your celebration of John Burroughs' headliner slot. That was amazing. Thank you, John.
That was absolutely.
Thank you all.
Just range, the depth, everything, just beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. We now have a little break. So luckily, you know where the facilities are, where you are. Maybe Gerald doesn't, but the rest of you do. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. We start back in 3 to 5 minutes. Jason, is that right? Yeah.
Time for a cuppa, yeah.
Time for a cuppa. No, I don't. Right, okay, so strap in, we're ready to start the second half of Crafty Crows. Welcome back. We are going to start this second half with some announcements. Is that right, Jason? I have some announcements to make. If you are at all that way inclined to have haikus up your sleeve, just waiting to be entered into a competition, then the GPS 2023 haiku competition closes on the 30th of November. You've got plenty of time. Visit the Gloucestershire Poetry Society website if you want more information. Send your haikus that way. We will be having a December winter special, Crafty Crows, on December the 6th. An open mic extravaganza and celebration of online poetry to mark 4.5 years at Crafty Crows. A lovely welcoming space for poets. I'm sure you'll all agree. Please come back to that event. It'll be lovely to see you all there. So this second half, we have a little selection of poems from me. I'm going to give you a couple of prompts that a couple of poems I wrote to prompts for Inktober. And the first one was in response to the word drip. The giggle that rippled like water, trippled across pinpricks of time, stippling my ticklish mind, leaking teardrops that dripped and slipped between fingers, salting their tips and splashing on happy lips. Laughter tastes like great wine. And I'm only going to do 2 small ones. So the next, from the Inktober prompts, this one was bounce. You, me, rock and roll, thespians, Dewey Decimal, bookends, librarians, fiancé, engaged teenagers, wedding bells, James, Maria, 20 years disappear, proud parents. There you go, that's my life in a nutshell there. And the last one is a poem about neuroinclusion. Needing to think differently means you will always be alone, will never find a refuge, will always be excluded, will never be included forever, just for being you. But if you read that the other way around, it's a mirror poem, so I'm going to read it upside down. Is that right, John? Just for being you, forever be included, will never be excluded, will always find a refuge, will never be alone, means you will always be needing to think differently. Super. And if you like that kind of poetry, we've got more of that stuff over at Prickly Pear, which is another event that I host. However, it's not about me today. It's more about our wonderful headliners and features. So we're going to start this second half now with Carlos the Unhappy. Carlos, are you ready? I'm going to read your bio, and then we'd love to hear your set. So Carlos the Unhappy has been published in Beat magazine and IT, which stands for International Times, and has released his first collection, Oblivion, 200 Seasons of Pain and Magic. Simon Warner, author of Text and Drugs and Rock and Roll, The Beats and Rock Culture and Kerouac on Record, a Literary Soundtrack, also interviewed him for his Beats soundtrack series. In 2002, he was honoured by the National Beat Poetry Foundation, becoming the National Beat Poet Laureate England 2022-23. I am delighted for Carlos. Would you like to take the mic?
Thank you very much. Caught me slightly off guard there, my seasick sailors, but that's fine. I'm here now. So let's start off with, I'm going to be looking this way. I've got two different screens, so you can ignore me here and I can look over there. And the first one I'm going to start with is called Guitar. Some of you might recognize some of the references, but hopefully I've written it in a way that it doesn't really matter if you don't recognize those references. So, guitar. The guitar, a perhaps rib of tree, wood and steel, tuned and played, awakens, ignites poetry with amber, can stop a room, kill a fascist, bleed grace and pain, resound in the soul. The guitar is a machine for emptying the mind of the world with music. Metal, rock, will protest and is a stroll of notes in a meditation of sound. The guitar sings of American angels, Segovia days, and weeps with the slide of the dark horse. Reinvents itself, asks no question of lonely boys, girls disenfranchised from their souls. The guitar rages, sleeps, and waits to be played. The Django Reinhardt, Grant Green, Wes Montgomery jazz guitar draws a soft line in time from free expression to feedback like a singing bowl's wail of punk modernism. Listen. Electric hymns of Fripp and Eno. Can you hear the wind on the water and the equatorial stars? How the guitar plays silence. Joni sang of the priest who sat at the airport bar, fingering out the loneliness that lives in all of us, whilst Leonard said, "Hey, that's no way to say goodbye," crying over and over, "Lover, lover, 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 come back to me." And the dead took us inside a dark star, and all the while British folk picked a way through the history lichen of ancient stones, with dances of May and the solstice air, whilst the blues cried on porches like rain on the back of the sun-drenched chain gang, like the kiss of a breeze on the sad girls of the hard sweat cotton fields, because in the blues more than fingers were bleeding. So yes, this wood sings, rings, runs, hums, and imprisons our heart, even as we dutifully sink alone into the diamond sea. The guitar. Thank you. So let's do this one next. Still adjusting my mind. This is part 5 of a 20-part long poem about the Forest of Dean, where I live, near the Wye Valley. And I haven't really got time for 20 parts, so we'll just do this one part 5. And this is based in where I live, a bit of the Wye Valley and a place called Elwood in the Forest of Dean, and it takes place in early summer. So picture a lovely wooded place, early summer. Now bluebells have faded, new purple pink is fresh scattering of foxgloves, silent silk bells. Meanwhile at home, the eager early roses are coming through, so known, yet their common beauty still alights the soul. Hot one day, rain the next. This British weather so full of complacency. At the kitchen window, I think at the sink, gazing arise from far, afar to foreshore, the back garden before me, sees now evil junior wardens of the leafy, young magpies feeding. Black, white, and blue bottle blue brute adolescents fed directly into diabolical red beaks, their cawing throats, cause Bosch-like, demand more, always more, like flesh to war. Easy to imagine such bedeviled birds pecking the corpses of the sweet boys of history's wet battlefields. Easy to imagine such cruel carrion hopping about the apocalypse with raw, dreadful, satisfied squall. Now the magpie gang bully the tiny, timid sparrows, harangue the reticent ones that hop lightly about the base of our bird feeder, and in doing so recall in my now shadowed mind the cruel playgrounds of childhood. So dry my hands, sneak outside and rush the fuckers, scatter them as explosion of fleeing flight like Trafalgar Square pigeons, as if peddling through on some magic manic penny farthing of revenge with rippling ribbons of imagination and my tea towel flames flowing fine behind. Here's one for the struggling sparrows and sweet diminutive dunnocks of this cruel, gruesome world. I breathe in the sweet-tempered air of justice, my chest raising, then smiling, return to the kitchen satisfied, raise glass of sweet, dark, oaken, silk Madeira to the world, half pretend sophisticate, half dirty Harry. Return now to the roses of my mind and the soapy dishcloth, trying to erase memory's stubbornly cruel coffee-tide mark. But mind recalls self as boy, and how I moved through sunfire haze of field scrub, like a cat slips through the red brick estate. Meanwhile, and now, the overhead early summer umbrellas these daydreams in the doing, as then, Hitchcock-like, one of them dang magpies drops to the foot of the feeder, followed by another, and then another. I tell you, all this early summer evil and roses won't get the washing up done. The grease of life too tough to wipe so easily clean. Thank you. Okay, how am I doing for time? I think let's do. So Mimi earlier talked of her war poems, and I resisted. I also felt a bit like her, and felt almost mute about the war and things that are going on, especially the amount of innocent lives lost. But here's one poem I did do as a response, and this is called October 2023 Dream, and it is kind of like a dream that I had. My caring palm is mute in its reaching. Its station is choking uselessness, as now they huddle in the hungry night. The mountain falls over and over without lightning. I stir, my family sleeps safe in our house in the west, safe under the same acquiescent first quarter moon, its azimuth hiding dark reality. But the hounds are not yet through. They hunger on the promise as children choke on the fog of war. It must be me who's dead, I think, in all this mess of murder. To this, God opens her book and writes down the names. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Final one. Is that good? Yeah, we're good for one final one. And this is all about all about the invitations that never came, in a sort of meditation on failed romance, I guess. So, I guess you know Veronica Lake never showed up, that the lips of Lauren Bacall never came to wake me. But I will still take their murder and deceit if I must. Happily, I will light their seductive cigarettes, get used to the taste of bourbon dry martinis if that's what it takes. Oh, raging angels that gather beneath the ceiling, let me sleep free of your conspiratorial giggling. Let this useless young atheist dream safely his fragile heart. Let me alone in this republic of solitude. As soon as I could, sorry, I'll read that again. As soon as I could drive, I did. Drive as to become so satisfyingly lost in the world. Roads and music, landscapes, moving through the gears, then back home and my room became a garden of books. Downstairs in the midnight lounge, movie hours pass in the flickering. Dream that she did after all. Veronica Lake came sauntering through the dark noir-light night, but still never looked me in the eye. I remember it was like that, always, all the girls at school, until this one day, and to the sound of Charlie Parker's soft beat bop, out of nowhere, out of this drawer of loneliness, flew birds. Thank you. Done.
Oh, I don't want that to end, Carlos. Keep going, keep going. Oh, wonderful. Please show your appreciation for that amazing set. Admiration.
Excellent.
Just moving.
Just wonderful. Thank
Wonderful.
you so much. We are going to continue with our open mic, I think now, Jason, and we have a running order, don't we, for the second half? So make sure I don't go out of order. Don't want me running out of order. So we have a second half open mic running order of Ashley Edge, Susie Aspel. You can see it in the chat. I don't know, Ashley, are you ready to go now? Yeah, got a thumbs up there from Ashley. So
I'll literally start up. Oh shit, she put me on first. And start up for you.
There you go. Over to you.
Cool. Just the one. Can I screen share? Is that all right? Is that function available?
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Okay. Can you all see that? It's a picture and some words. Right. I'm gonna have to just move the box so that I can't see you all because I can't see the poem. Right, yeah. This is for my dad. Este para mi papa. El tren de los Pirineos, the Pyrenean train. I taste leaves. My skin and tongue of metal taste el frio. The scent of high winds kiss my windows, mi ojos. As I glide down muy rapido to the unseen city below, I try to savor the sight of unbroken soil, to slow my wheels, mi pie, to ease my engine, mi corazón. I want to brag to the other trains when we're berthed for the night and the critters climb aboard to clean us down. They make me run, push me to gallop, darse prisa, even though I'm sure the humming creatures would prefer a gentle, tranquilo paseo a la pinaculo. Their bright faces gaze, boca abierta, admiring the view of vast silver firs, forests of pine, oak, beech. As I help them rise to the misty peak, I know they would prefer to pause. Olé, las lilios, las orquídeas, las asphodelas. I hear their chatter about the magnificent vista, their plan to rest, to devour with all senses once I finally stop. I feel their feet like small weights as niños scurry up and down me. I taste their jamón ibérico, queso roquefort, vino Juancon. I taste their breath easing as we rise to clean air where creatures walk on 4 feet and the words of trees can be heard. Cada noche, I set with the sun, both of us slide down the mountain, hide under a cloak of darkness, dormir. Cada noche, I bear the creatures home, past thatched pueblocitos and rusting Kalos, to the smog, noise, grime of their urban dream. Sorted, man.
Wow. That was a feast for the senses, Ashley. Thank you so much. Really loved that. Absolutely amazing. Show your appreciation for Ashley. Wonderful. And as you've seen in the chat, Jason saying that Nick is having some Wi-Fi issues. So we have a few more slots on the open mic available, which you've seen. So hopefully everybody's going to be happy tonight. We have next up Susie Aspel. Susie, are you ready?
I am. Thank you, Kate. Thanks, everybody. It's great to be here because I'm not normally free on a Wednesday, and it's been a wonderful evening, so I'm really happy to be here. I've gone with seasonal poems for this time of year. They slipped out of a huge pile of paper on my desk. And the first one is An Urban Myth after We Real Cool by Gwendolyn Brooks, which was first published by Sledgehammer Lit online. Summer passes, autumn arrives. Days cool as raccoons scoot skedaddle, rattle cans in the schoolyard, lurk late at night, and we watch them with furtive eyes. Urban bandits nesting in sewers, striking straight for our leftovers. We envy their devious ways, their dexterous hands. We yearn to don dark eye masks, abandon our families, and with our jazzy raccoon gang, we'll saunter off to the bar, sink long glasses of gin while arguing, knock out a song for a sinner or two, hustle pool with drunken bums until insults hurl a twister, fists and cues a blur, hauled out by the scruff of our necks, kicked out into the bleak, dank air, scraps of detritus. Deep in their dens, opportunistic raccoons enter torpor. And then my second one is a much shorter one, and it's about the dark evenings, dark nights, and other darkness. Under a dark night sky. Others prefer light evenings. I welcome the coming bear. Like Lady Macbeth, I slide into thick night, prowl in search of a dunnest hell, bared teeth a grimace to match my deep, scar-ripped frowns. I call upon sleep not yet killed. If you find me before sunlight springs me awake, don't dare touch. I haven't yet dreamt away the spots on my hand. I'm still shouting, out, 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 in the far recesses of my mind.
Oh, Susie, such contrasting pieces. And
yes.
Yeah, I'm still caught on that last line, actually. Wonderful stuff. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Show your appreciation for Susie, everyone. That was amazing. And we have Courtney next. Courtney Ward. Are you ready, Courtney?
I'm here.
Hooray.
I'm ready
Over
to go.
to you.
I only want to share one short one today, and it's called Life. Life is full of colour, full of waves, full of beauty, full of strength. Even our scars have beauty. Even the darkness has light, full of beauty, full of hope. Thanks. That's it.
Short but perfectly formed, Courtney. Beautiful lines in that. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your words. Oh, look who's managed to sneak on the open mic list. It's Clive Oseman.
Who?
Are you ready?
Yeah, sort of. Right, mine's going to be pretty brief tonight. I'm no less silly than normal, but pretty brief. So it's not really a poem, although there is a poem involved. Some of you will know, if you follow me on Facebook, that I'm doing a lot of writing reviews on Amazon at the moment, and but not real reviews for things that I haven't really bought. I may have bought them from elsewhere, but not Amazon. And I always give everything 5 stars, so that straight away that's a good start. And then my actual reviews just get crazier and crazier, and every one I've done so far has been accepted, so I'm just going to keep going until they finally get sick of me. And this is a review of Link's 48-hour deodorant. I had always believed deodorant was unnecessary. Water and carbolic soap was the way forward. My dad taught me this, and I always followed his advice. Then someone bought me this product for my birthday. They assured me I didn't smell or anything, but thought I would like the colourful cans. I can honestly say that gift has changed my life. At the age of 48, I finally have my first girlfriend. She collects deodorant cans as a hobby. That is how we met. Anyway, I'm rambling. This stuff really does smell nice, and the happiness it has brought to my life has inspired a poem after several months of writer's block, and it goes like this. This deodorant is magnificent. I think it is significant that I have saved lots of water and lots of soap, because this product is so dope. Monday morning, just one quick spray, and I don't have to wash for the next 2 days. 48 hours on, repeat the dose, and you can safely get up close. No whiff, no pong, no smelly armpits, but make sure to spray your other bits. It's ecologically good, methinks. Don't waste water, just use Links. Thank you very much.
Are you done, Clive? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I was a little bit unprepared. So yeah, that's me done.
What's going to happen is suddenly all of these products that you're writing these reviews for are going to suddenly sell loads of products, and you're just going to be, they're going to wonder what's going on. You need to get a job doing this. This is amazing. Lovely stuff. Thank you, Clive. And Gerald in Hinckley, are you ready?
I am ready indeed. And after Clive, I'm going to go on to a serious subject though, because some of you will know I moved house and got a new kitchen, and we bought a new fridge. And my wife, Fiona, rather stupidly for someone married to a poet, showed me the manual and read bits out of it. And as a result, I this poem, which is called Pets and Small Animals. So you might want to take some notes, by the way, if you've got a new fridge coming. It goes like this. The manual for your new fridge includes a number of useful tips. For example, do not put drinks, especially carbonated drinks, into the freezer. Do not squirt toothpaste or other flammable substances on exposed surfaces to clean the outside of the fridge. Do not use a hairdryer or light a candle inside to odors. Your mobile phone inside the fridge, you will not be able to hear people calling you about life insurance. Do not operate electrical devices inside the fridge. That includes radios, toasters, or vibrators, unless you are a contortionist. Do not place small animals, such as pets, inside the appliance, although if the cat is already cooked, it will probably be fine. Do not put children in the fridge for similar reasons. Do not allow hands or arms to get trapped in the door of the appliance when closing it. For the living, this will be a matter of deftness. For the dead, it will be a matter of careful measurement. As in any DIY operation, work out the space, then cut the limbs to the right size before bagging up the various body parts for disposal, or, if preferred, a delicious stir fry. Yum, yum. For the undead, it is probably best not to allow them in the freezer in the first place. What to do with those struggling to escape is not explained in the manual. Unhelpfully, the manual also gives no advice on storing heavy-duty cleaning products such as sulfuric acid, where to put devices aimed at starting a nuclear blast during World War III, or how to freeze large animals such as white rhinos, tigers, and other endangered species. You can, however, use Google to find generic answers to these everyday fridge-related questions. The manual also suggests waiting 4 hours before turning the fridge on. You may insert the plug. You may sit and admire your new fridge. You may lie down, look upwards, and dream. However, if its icy charms are too much, a long walk or a cold shower will make the waiting easier. After that, you and your fridge can enjoy 20 years of happiness before the extended warranty expires, or someone puts a stoat full of gunpowder in the salad tray, whichever comes first. Advice for anyone with a new fridge. From Hinckley. Thank you.
Very wise words there from Gerald for all you new fridge owners. Thank you. We will take that wisdom and do appropriate things with it. Thank you very much, Gerald. Right, Jason, I'm sure you're ready because you know you're next, don't you?
I am indeed, thanks.
There you go.
I've got a short one to share, and it's about, well, written in inspiration on a holiday in Scotland in August. It's called Climate Semiosis in Logie Steading. So I'm back to writing eco-poems. I took 2 feet, walked the tourist path, heeded the designated sign, danger, cliff face, kept distance from the edge, admired moss-mapped trees, rain lines down pine and beech, crude oil to rusted ground, autumn leaves and needles smelt, blood-tin birch roots, white knuckles on the ridge. Feral horses ran the river Findhorn, hammered over bronze anvils, clouds tarnished overhead. I stared into the distance, tasted iron, took 2 hands, prayed for good weather.
Are you done with that, Jason? Oh, just the one. What an amazing one it was. Thank you. Brilliant stuff. We have got Josephine Lay next. Josephine, are you ready?
Yeah,
There
fine,
you
thank
are.
you. I've got 2 short ones, one old, one new. I think I'll start with the new. I wrote this last month because it was Black History Month, wasn't it? So it's just called Reaching Out. I am anxious to hold out my hand in such a way that you'll appreciate my respect for your constant situation. I'm not proud of my country's past that robbed your ancestors of freedom. The weight of those iniquities presses down. Yet, can I approach this sensitive state and hold out my hand, hope you'll take it? Together we may find ways to forge links. Don't let anyone think there's an easy answer. We'll encounter many misconceptions. Our fingers will slip apart, but I'll not stop holding out a hand. That's that one. Thank you. And this one I wrote the summer before last when it was very, very hot, very, very dry. And it made me think of global warming. I should write of meadow and tree, of white-eyed daisies, purple thistle, kingcup and vetch, scarlet petals of poppy. The truth is, the vine withers, the bee is polluted, nature is destroyed. Every morning I nod to death from my doorway, step into the arid garden, grass bleached to straw. Butterflies search for stamen and nectar, but the flowers have died, and shriveled petals tumble in the hot wind. Beyond, on the far mountains, forest fires rage, volcanoes smoke, and people flee. There's no escape from this one globe we're terminating. Thank you.
That was very moving, Josephine, and the imagery in that. Thank you so much. Show your appreciation for Josephine, folks. Wonderful stuff. Well, Josephine, thank you for that. We've now got Ivor Daniel. You're still with us, Ivor, I think. Would you like to take the mic?
Hi. Hi, thanks everyone. I'm really enjoying all the words, so really diverse poems from everyone, thanks. So my poem was on Top Tweet Tuesday yesterday, on what we used to call Twitter before everything started being even more shit than it was a year ago. And it's called Pile. I fixate upon the carpet in The Shining, an endless red and orange graphic hex. My friend spills his Kiora on popcorned Odeon floors again and again. These carpets will be cleaned for minimum wage. Real life is scarier than movies. Older now, I know no more. I play no active part in making more, nor either in the making of world peace. Miss World and God, both lost for words. Is Halloween redundant or relevant as hell? In life, we have such death already, as close as blown up ghouls on next door's lawn. Margins are thinned, the dead pile deep. This franchise knows no bounds. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivor. Yes. Gosh, there was a lot in that poem. Thank you so much for bringing it to us today. Really appreciated that. We have one final poet. Is that right already? Just one left to go. Chris Campbell, you've joined us. Would you like to also come onto the mic and share a poem or two?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed listening tonight. So this is a poem about a romantic picnic gone wrong. It's called The Sea Steals Our Picnic Blanket. The sea steals our picnic blanket and returns cling film cleansed. Scrub your fingertips in the fairy liquid waves. My captured goodwill floats away in our lunchbox. At the scene of the crime, you tilt your soaked face to evict dear squatter sand. Ask why I'd positioned us so close to the sea. Shells prize my protestations. My eardrum bursts. Wax surfs on pulsing waves. Jellyfish fireworks sting the sky. Rocks thud like bailiffs. I dragged our blanket, four-course platter and carver down to the shore. A downpour threatened. Even the tide was leaving. but in a final assault it nipped our basket, a week's wages feeding the fishes. My wrists freeze under my seaweed-soaked shirt. Your pupils are beads from the seabed, drawn by nature's net. I want to pick at your best bits before you leave again. This open shell won't close. Thank you. Thanks.
My goodness, have we finished already? Well, I think you'll agree that was another brilliant Crafty Crows. See, I'm doing the ABC here, where the words flowed freely and we learnt the rhymes for Hinckley, didn't we, Gerald? And John Burroughs and Karlostheunhappy made our ears very happy tonight. Hearts connected over words, senses and sentiments. Thank you, open micers, listeners all at this Crafty Crows ABC edition. Awesome beat craft on show tonight. It just leaves me to say thank you to everybody. Please, if you want to show your appreciation, come off mute and cheer and chat. Apart from that, it's au revoir, bye-bye, and see you all later.
Doodle pip.
Threedle pip, I thought it was.